I never expected my life to become a saga of family betrayal, but here I am, sharing the details with strangers online. My name is Sarah, I'm 28, and 6 months ago, my relationship with my family hit a boiling point. It all started with my older sister, Angelina. Growing up, Angelina was the golden child. She had the straight A report cards, the awards, the flawless cheerleading routines, and the violin solos that made our mom beam with pride. I, on the other hand, was more into computers and coding, much to my parents' bewilderment. Our relationship was never close. We were 4 years apart, and honestly, I don't think she ever really got me. When she married Tom, her college sweetheart, everyone thought the story was complete. Angelina, the picture-perfect daughter, had married a stable, successful man. From the outside, it looked like she had everything. But after a few years, everyone started whispering. People would ask when she and Tom were having kids, and each time, she'd shrug or give a sad smile, brushing it off. 6 months ago, Angelina called with what sounded like good news. She was pregnant. I was thrilled for her, truly, despite our differences. But then came a twist I couldn't have seen coming. She didn't just announce she was expecting a baby, she announced that I would be her surrogate. She never asked, and she barely gave me time to process her statement. "Wait, Angelina," I stammered, struggling to comprehend. "You're saying you want me to be your surrogate? Like, for real?" "Yes, Sarah," she replied with this strange calm, like she was talking about the weather. "You're not using your uterus anyway. What's the big deal?" And that was her pitch. No consideration for my life, my career, my plans. Just an expectation that I'd set everything aside and do her this small favor. As if her assumption wasn't outrageous enough, Angelina started telling everyone, family, friends, her Facebook followers, that I had agreed to be her surrogate. Before I knew it, I was receiving congratulatory texts and phone calls from relatives I hadn't spoken to in years, all praising my selflessness. When I confronted her, she just shrugged. "Everyone's already so excited," she said with a smirk. "You wouldn't want to disappoint them, would you?" The emotional manipulation didn't stop there. My parents were calling me every day, urging me to think of the family and reminding me how much Angelina had been through. My dad, a usually reserved man, even said, "Sarah, this is your chance to finally do something meaningful." I couldn't believe it. Here I was, a successful software developer, living independently, working a job I loved, and yet, apparently, the only way to prove my worth was to give up my body for my sister's dreams. As the pressure mounted, I felt like I was suffocating. Family dinners became unbearable, with Angelina acting like everything was set in stone, discussing nursery themes and making casual remarks about how soon I'd be starting the treatments. Finally, during one of these dinners, I lost my cool. Standing up, I looked around the table, feeling my hands tremble. "I haven't agreed to anything," I said, voice shaking but resolute. "Angelina, you've been lying to everyone. I am not going to be your surrogate." The room fell silent. My sister's face went from shock to fury in an instant. She started sobbing, claiming I was ruining her only chance at motherhood. My parents joined in, their faces tight with disappointment, labeling me as selfish and heartless. Only Tom, her husband, sat in awkward silence, looking more uncomfortable than anything. I left feeling like I was the villain of some twisted family drama. Weeks passed with no contact from Angelina. I thought maybe they were starting to accept my decision. But one day, I received a call from a number I didn't recognize. "Hello," I answered. "Hi, Sarah. We're calling from Family First Surrogacy Agency. We received your application and wanted to go over the next steps." My heart dropped. "Excuse me?" I said, incredulous. They explained that they had received an application with my details, signed by me, with my medical records attached. But I had never submitted any of this. Horrified, I realized what must have happened. Angelina had taken my information and filed a fake application in my name. This wasn't just crossing a line. It was identity theft. After much thought, I decided to report her actions to the authorities. It was the hardest choice I'd ever made, knowing it would lead to confrontation. But I was done being the scapegoat, the lesser daughter. The family immediately turned against me, especially when Angelina was charged with misdemeanor fraud and given community service. She screamed over the phone, calling me a traitor. My parents swore they'd never forgive me, saying I'd torn the family apart. But amidst the chaos, something surprising happened. Tom filed for divorce, unable to stomach the lies any longer. After the police report, a mutual friend revealed a secret that put everything in a new light. Tom had a vasectomy years ago. Angelina knew this, yet she had still spun a story of infertility to gain sympathy. Why was she so obsessed with having a child when her husband never wanted one? My friend explained that Angelina had always harbored a fear of pregnancy since a traumatic experience in her teens. Yet, her desire to have it all had led her to fabricate a tale of infertility and manipulate everyone around her. Feeling like I'd been caught in a web of lies, I finally confronted Tom. We met at a coffee shop, and over the course of an hour, he spilled his own struggles with the marriage, saying he had stayed only because he thought Angelina's desperation was genuine. The revelations left us both stunned, feeling duped, hurt, and a little relieved that the truth was out. One day, my mother called unexpectedly, her voice choked with tears. Angelina was pregnant. It turned out that she had been seeing someone else after the surrogacy plan had fallen apart and conceived with another man. She was facing the very thing she'd tried to avoid, her own pregnancy, without the support of her husband or family. As she struggled with the fallout, my parents admitted they had been complicit in her lies, believing it would fix her fear and make her happy. They apologized, their voices thick with regret, but it was hard to accept after months of being cast as the villain. The truth now out, I decided it was time to take care of myself. I accepted a job transfer, moving to a new city. I spent months building a life without the shadow of my family's expectations, focusing on therapy and self-care, slowly mending the wounds left by my family's betrayal. My therapist helped me process the lingering pain of being cast as the black sheep for so long, guiding me in setting healthy boundaries and seeing my family members as flawed individuals rather than these towering figures of authority. 6 months later, I received news that Angelina had given birth to a healthy baby girl. She was a single mother now, learning firsthand the weight of her choices. My parents and I have tentatively reconnected, though it's different now. There are boundaries that will never be crossed again. Reflecting on everything, I'm grateful for what this experience taught me. It was painful, yes, but it showed me the importance of boundaries, self-respect, and resilience. For the first time, I'm living life on my terms, thriving in a way I never thought possible.